So welcome back, everyone. I'm so excited about having my next guest on. Solar Sandy is in the room with me live here. I am so excited about having Solar Sandy Dec. Solar Sandy, please tell everybody first a little bit about us really quickly, because it's a good story, and then about your story, which is unbelievable. Listen up, everyone.
Okay, well, Carol and I have been knowing each other now. It's almost going on 10 years.
Yeah.
So she invited me on her show a long time ago, and she was relentless, and I'm so glad that she was. And because I was running around helping prospective solar families with their very high electric bills almost 10 years ago, when they were paying way too much for their electricity. And since then, it's just gotten so much worse. And Carol invited me on her show, and I told my story. I used to be a registered nurse that July 12th, 30 years ago in 1993, I fell down an elevator shaft. And I was a single mom of a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I no longer could be a nurse. They told me that day if I even lived, I would never walk again. I said, that's not an option. I'm a single mother, and my little ones only have me. So I was in a wheelchair for almost 15 years. I should have been dead, but minimally I should have been actually paralyzed. But the pain paralyzed me. I had broken my neck in 3 places, and I'd broken my back in 2 places. I tell people Humpty Dumpty has nothing on me because God put me back together again. So fast forward 12 and a half years ago, almost 13 years ago now, Carol, my daughter had a very high electric bill. They had just moved into their first home, and now let me just tell you this. Because I had my accident when I was only 33 years old, I hadn't paid a lot into Social Security. So I got a whopping $1,147 a month. No, $1,157, excuse me. Don't forget the $57. That's all I got, Social Security disability. I settled way too soon for way too little money for the accident that happened to me. And I was sustained on $1,157 a month. So when my daughter asked for help paying her electric bill, I said, oh my goodness, how bad could your power bill be? You have an 1,800 square foot ranch house. And when I lived in Hawaii and had, before my accident, 2,400 square foot 2-story house, my highest bill was like $200, $250 at best, at worst. So she didn't tell me, and I said, just send me a copy of the bill and I'll see what I can do. All I was able to afford at that time was I was going to chip in $50 and help them make payment arrangements and get them squared away. I saw her bill, and it was $565.27, folks. Now, I wasn't Solar Sandy back then. I was just a mom and a grandma, and on Social Security disability, and I was like, oh, this must be that they forgot to pay their bill for a couple of months. That's what I naturally assumed. So I called the power company, and the power company said to me very rudely, how do you not know this is a 1-month bill?
Oh my goodness.
They were so rude to me. Well, they can be rude as they want, and they can raise your rates as high as they want, because if you don't pay your bill, any power company is just going to shut the lights off.
They do.
They don't care. And so when I found out this was a 1-month bill, and my kids at the time, my daughter and my son-in-law, Chelsea was 24, my son-in-law was 27, I thought, has the power rates gone up that much? Well, if this is how much they are at 24 and 27, what will these bills be when they're 34, 44, 54? And our age, Carol, we're not telling.
Well, I'm not going to tell you, but anyway.
We're not telling. So I was just horrifically, like I was flabbergasted. So back then I knew nothing about solar. I started Googling how to lower electric bill. Insulation, new windows, new doors, swamp coolers, for heaven's sakes, all these funny settings on your thermostat, and none of it made any sense to me. And then at the very bottom of all this list of things to do to save money on your power bill, there was this little ad. It said, 0 money out of pocket to save on your power bill. I was like, 0 money out of pocket? Boom. We can afford this. So I clicked on the little Google link, and it opened up to this little ad, and it said, Oh, I found out what the kids were paying. I didn't even know what a kilowatt was back then. I found out the kids were paying 43.4 cents per kilowatt hour. So it said, with your solar panels on your own roof, produce your kilowatts and pay less per kilowatt than the power company is currently charging you. So I was like, check. But the next thing that it said was, lock in your power bill and never have to worry about those horrific power company rate increases. And I thought, if this is true, and now I know it is, lower their bill and lock it in. We're onto something at 24 and 27. That would be, really super wonderful. Because I wasn't in a position then to pay the $565.27 power bill. And thank God I don't have to, because they have had solar now for a little over 12 years. It's almost like 13 years that this happened, that they haven't had a power bill.
Now,
since.
I've heard your story.
I know you have.
Like for a long time, and it's amazing. Her story just keeps on getting better and better and better. Reason why is, number one, she found a way by being able to talk to everybody on the radio to, instead of having to go door to door, which is really nice. And if you've never heard Solar Sandy, please listen up. If you've heard her, you've never called her, please call
Now's
her.
the time.
Now
Go
is
to
the
the
time, or
website.
go up to the website. They want you to do this because Solar Sandy had people that came to her and she talked to them and she was like, this person's not making any sense. And I always say this, they don't know who they were dealing with, because Solar Sandy wasn't gonna let anything get by her. And what she did, and I'm gonna just tell everybody,
Yes.
you can do what you're doing here, because
I figured out.
she figured out, she was a nurse, so she had already had this mathematical
Right.
mind in her brain. She figured out a formula. It is a proprietary formula, because, did I say it right?
Yes,
No.
you did.
Yes,
you did.
That nobody else has. This is what you gotta listen. When you listen and talk to Solar Sandy, she created this and it works so well that
It
you
gets
had
the
like
bills too.
zero. I mean, and she's got, some of these things are even negative, and we've just seen these, and I've got the bills here, folks, in my room. And I mean, we're not talking about one or two. I've got like 50 of them sitting in here. We're live on Facebook to everybody who is
Yes.
on there and can see this. Now, you want to go up onto the website and fill out the kilowatt worksheet. That is what you want to do. So you go up there to asksolarsandy.com and fill out the kilowatt worksheet. That is the first thing you want to do, and she's going to help you, show you how you can lower your bill to zero.
Right. So we're going to eliminate your APS bill or your SRP bill in my proprietary formula. I can get both those power companies' bills to zero, and with you living more comfortably in your own home. And we're going to talk to Scott here in a minute, who, Scott and Victoria, are now part of the Solar Sandy family. Carol, tell them about the little event real quickly that I just had at my home.
It was fabulous. She had all of her Solar Sandy, the people that are her families that have come there. They're so grateful.
They've gone solar.
They've gone solar. They're so grateful. I talked to many of them that were so grateful that Sandy that they listened to her and had her come and do this assessment. It's free for her to come out to you. And let me tell you something, when you do this, you will be so happy that you did, because she will eliminate those bills that are just driving you crazy. You don't even want to open them up. Go to asksolarsandy.com and fill out that kilowatt worksheet
Today.
We won't leave that.
So, SRP folks, if you're an SRP, get ready. There is a rate increase coming right in February. So your bills that were higher this year, you're gonna see your bills go up in February. Fill out your kilowatt worksheet.
What we're going to do is we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk further. Folks, this is incredible, and you will be so happy that you did. Go to asksolarsandy.com. We're live in this room still. This is
Okay,
different than what
perfect.
you do. So
Perfect.
we are live on Facebook, so I want you to be able to
Hi,
talk
everybody.
to everybody out there right now. And then we'll introduce you when we come back.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah,
So,
that's fine.
If
Okay.
you're SRP folks, those bills that normally in this time of year usually go down because we're not using our ACs, and this year it's been It's still really quite warm outside.
It's boiling.
I've got my AC on at my house, so, but you're gonna see your bills go up in February. And then right around the corner will be the next APS rate increase. And I spoke about this on my show, that's on 960 AM on Saturday and Sunday, 10 AM and 3 PM every week. I talked about it a lot. This APS rate increase was the historically highest rate increase that has ever hit. And it's going to continue. And this year and next year, there will be another, probably at least 1 or 2 more rate increases from APS. So folks, go fill out your kilowatt worksheet. While your solar's being installed, I'm gonna pay 2 of your electric bills while your solar's being installed. That's on me. Solar Sandy, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
So I'm gonna do that too, so 200, two of their,
Yes.
solar.
Yes. Yes, did you send yours?
Yeah.
You got your check.
We're good.
Okay, hold on tight with you. You okay? Everybody okay?
Everything's great.
As okay as we can be. So do you think that they're sneaking this rate increase in February so people won't notice it as bad because they're not running their AC?
Right.
That's exactly what we're gonna talk about when we come back live.
Because
I
you
know what-
notice they do the rate increases on the months, the
Absolutely.
lowest usage
Do you have
months.
a little tissue? Absolutely, Scott, and I want you to bring that up exactly.
They're sneaky that way.
Okay. Here,
I
here.
will.
Okay.
Yep.
You got it in there?
1 minute. There's supposed to be SRP bills in here, which Scott's seen them, SRP.
I've seen them.
You've seen them, zero
Yeah.
bills. They were supposed to be in here. I would have been.
That's okay, I have them, I think, over here.
I used to have.
Moving forward. Do you need another one?
Oh, I just have. My nose has been running. Do you have any SRP bills in there?
I might. Do you want me to
Yeah,
check?
Like, let's pull them out and see what's in. Okay, he's an outlier. He was an astrophysicist.
I got a file
Mount
cabinet
Ralph
here.
Peterson. At the
Yes,
party, he
I
came
think so,
like,
yeah.
just loves me. Well, he gets $2,700 a year for APS. Look at his credits.
What if you already have solar? I'm still paying interest.
Then you didn't go with Solar Sandy.
Well, no, I didn't know.
No, sweetheart, didn't go.
So welcome back, everyone. Let me tell you. First of all, number one, Solar Sandy asked me if I have some SRP bills. I got a file cabinet of stuff that I have here. And what I have are, and we're live on Facebook, and I do want people to see some of these bills that I have here. There's about 50 of them. These most are with the APS, but Solar Sandy can work with either APS or SRP.
And
It doesn't
we're gonna-
matter.
Yep, and we're gonna bring Scott in. Scott is one of my Solar Sandy family members now. I met with Scott and Victoria August 5th, you filled out your kilowatt worksheet. And shortly thereafter, I went out to Scott and Victoria's home. And welcome, Scott, thanks for coming on to tell
Thank
your
you.
experience.
Thanks for having me.
Now, I want you to tell everybody that's listening what you and Victoria were keeping your thermostat at prior to Solar Sandy.
Get on that mic,
So,
so I want
just
everybody
a-
to hear it.
Yes.
Just a quick little backstory. We bought our house about 4 years ago. We're way out in the West
Yeah.
Valley, Waddell.
Yep,
And it was an older house. It was built in 2006, I think 2007. Didn't really have many upgrades at
Yeah.
all, so we started to do
Yes.
some upgrades to it. And what shocked me, and it's a 2-story, it's like 2,600
Yeah.
square feet. And the first summer we were there, that's when it kind of blew me away. I'm like, okay, my electric bills are roughly almost a third of my mortgage.
yes.
That's insane.
Do you have two air conditioning?
No, we just got
they
one
have
big
one.
5-ton
Wow.
unit.
They have
So
We also have another
the,
gentleman coming on in here, we're just gonna let you
Monty,
stand
yeah.
over here. And, but for a minute, I just want you to go keep
So-
on talking, Scott.
The next year, the next summer, they were even higher. So I started to compare, and I'm going, okay, my electric bills are getting close to $600 a month in July and
Yeah,
August
yeah.
and September, even into June.
Yeah,
I'm going, okay, there's gotta be
A better way.
a solution. There's gotta be something to fix this. And then the third summer we were there, they were approaching 650s,
Right.
you know.
Because there's been a rate increase.
And we've had solar guys, you know how
Right.
they send the canvassers
Yes,
out
yes,
to
yes.
talk to you and knock on your door, and I was interested. So I
Right.
was looking into it, and I was doing some of my own research.
Tell what happened.
I asked questions. I had a list of questions I wanted answered.
Get on that mic, I want them to hear.
I had questions I want answered. None of the canvassers or door-to-door sales guys could answer all of my questions. None. And if you can't answer my questions, I'm not gonna do business with you.
Exactly.
So I had heard Sandy advertised on the radio, KFYI, and some other outlets, and I thought, what the hell, I'm just gonna give her a
Call
call.
Solar Sandy.
So I went on the website, I filled out the kilowatt worksheet, got a call from her, I think the next day.
You did.
And I said, well, I own my own company, I'm really busy, but the only times I have is weekends. She
Yeah.
goes, that's fine, I'll come out on a Saturday. I was like, okay, that's unheard of, first of all. And she came out, met with me and Victoria, came in with, and she came herself. She didn't send a representative or nobody else, she came herself. And that was huge to me as well. You're the face, you are the product.
She's
you
the
are
real
the
deal,
best. She
folks,
is the
is
real
what
deal.
it is.
And she sat down, and I had my list of questions in front of me, and she started to talk about her formula and everything, and she answered every question above and beyond what I have.
And that's something that I want to just chime in there for
Yeah.
a second, because I've known you for a very long time, and what's amazing about her, you have so much knowledge when it comes to solar. You live it, you
Yes.
walk the talk, and it's
I
amazing.
believe in it more today than I did almost 13 years ago, because I now know how power and politics and all of these monopolies and how it works, and it's absolutely, let's just put it this way, flabbergasting to me that the legal way that they have of extracting money from your hard-earned money, and that they justify these rate increases, and they're horrific, and that all we're trying to do is live in our homes comfortably and affordably, and then it gets to the point where you're living uncomfortably. You're
Well,
gonna talk-
comfortably,
Yeah.
getting back to your
Yes.
original question. So Sandy comes in and it's kind of warm in here. I go, well, yeah, we keep our thermostat at like 78, 80 during the day, maybe 78 at night, which for me is a little bit too warm. My girlfriend Victoria, she's a freeze baby, so that's
We
comfortable
were buying her,
for.
we're buying her a blanket for Christmas.
Yeah, we're gonna get her an UGG
Yes,
for
that's it.
Christmas,
It's
and
a
she
full
can
UGG.
bundle up. But I'm like, this is just not the way to do it.
No.
It's hot out, I wanna be comfortable in my own home,
Yeah.
I wanna work in my own office and be
Yes.
comfortable
Yeah.
and not sweating.
Scott, what
And
did she get you down to?
She's gotten me down to 0.
There you go, folks, listen to
And
that.
what's your thermostat gonna be set at next summer?
Next summer, we're gonna go 74, 72, maybe even 70.
Yes.
It all depends on what the boss says.
Yes,
you know.
we'll just get her whatever she needs, summer, winter.
Yeah, yeah.
And listen, Victoria, and she and I are about the same size. I sleep at a cool 68, 69 when it's summertime, because it's better for your health.
Oh, much.
It's just like the
much
coolant
better.
in your car, your body needs to be able to cool down, and you're in and out of the car, I was in the truck all day with your company, we're gonna talk about that in just a second. Scott became part of my Solar Sandy family, by going solar and me eliminating his power bill, and, you know, he offered me a glass of water, and I was really thirsty that day, and often I don't accept water, because I'm kind of a water snob. And his water was so good, and it wasn't just because I was thirsty. And I was like, this is the best water I've tasted. And he came and put in my own Life
Water Solutions
Solutions.
reverse osmosis
Right.
system. So you actually have alkaline water,
Yes.
like I do. And I've done Carol's show a couple
Yes.
times,
So
2 or 3 years back.
we're gonna help you with your electricity bill and having the best water, the healthiest water. And then our other very special guest that's just behind me, all the people on Facebook, hi,
Come on over
on the
here.
radio, is Monty, and Monty is part of my Solar Sandy family team. And Scott and Victoria brought up a very good point that, hey, Sandy, our roof is the original roof, and what happens, you know, if we need to get the roof done? I said, well, let's evaluate the roof before we get solar panels on there. So guess who I call? I call Monty. Monty was out there, like literally, I think. like,
Yeah, so
Tell the
since
story.
getting back to the house,
Yeah.
you know, it's 2006, 2007 old, original roof, and
Yeah.
I'd heard the advertisements that you can get a credit, tax credit for doing the roof and the solar at the same
If
time.
you do it at the same
If you do it at
time.
the same time.
So listen, folks, let's stop for just a second. Folks, if you need a roof, the only time that you're gonna get the 30% federal tax credit on your roof off of your federal taxes is when you do your roof and your solar together. So that's really important because a lot of times people wait till like it cools down and, you know, it's the winter time, okay, well, let's get the roof done now, or let's get
Yeah.
this done now. So if you need a new roof, we've got Monty here. Tell him about Monty.
So, getting back to that, I was telling Sandy, I go, well, I know the roof's original, I know it's probably in disrepair, it has some maybe bad spots or whatever, and I said, who do you couple with when you do this? And she goes, well, I'm gonna send Monty from Fresh Home Solutions over. So Monty contacts me maybe a couple days after Sandy did, and I said, well, I'm only home on weekends because I own my own business. And Monty's like, that's all right, I'll come out. I think you came out on a Saturday too, as well.
Yes.
And I was working in my office Saturday morning, waiting for him to show up, and I get a knock on the door. Well, here's Monty standing at the front door. I said, hey, he introduced himself, and I was like, you need a ladder to get up on the roof? And he goes, no, I was already up there. I already checked it out. And I was like, I didn't even hear you. Didn't even know you were up there. You just tell me there's a couple bad spots.
He's like Santa Claus.
So
Yeah,
He
it was
in.
Santa Claus
amazing.
is
It
on
was
the roof,
really-
not
yeah.
making noise. Let
It
me
is-
ask you something. I don't mean to go on, but I wanna ask you, so the show is only a certain amount of
Yeah.
length. I wanna ask you, Monty, tell everybody what you needed to do in order for that, because it has to make sense. It has to make sense.
It does. Scott's roof still had a couple years of life left on it. Wasn't a pressing issue that had to be done. But the whole thing is if you're gonna do solar and Sandy put solar panels on it, when I come to do the roof, I gotta take the panels off and then put them back on. And most solar companies don't tell people that. And they incur expense up to $400 a panel to take them off and put them
And
back on.
put him back on.
And
So-
if you want that, I'm just gonna try and reach this.
That 30%.
If you don't, honestly, folks, if you don't do the roof and the solar at the same time, you're not gonna get that tax credit.
30%.
30% tax
Correct.
credit. The other thing I do wanna tell you that Solar Sandy, I'm thinking for everybody here, folks, is that, she will pay 2 of your electric bills while you are getting your solar panels on. Go to asksolarsandy.com and fill out that kilowatt worksheet.
And there's still time, if you fill out that kilowatt worksheet today, I will get your solar panels on by December 31st, so you get your tax credit. Monty will get your roof done, and I will get your solar panels installed, so you get the 2024 federal tax credit. Folks, that is your hard-earned money that otherwise would have stayed in the federal tax coffers, and $1,000 back from the state. That's your money. Go fill out your kilowatt worksheet today and get the Ask Solar Sandy solution, because I want to eliminate your power bills and give you a really, really happy outlook for 2025, folks.
The other thing
Thank
that
you.
people that want that you to know is that right now, because, yes, it is a little bit cooler out, so you know, it's almost like a little bit of a ploy, because you're gonna get a lower one bill
Oh,
now or the next time.
Scott,
but-
bring that up, bring that
But
up.
I'm doing it for you, because we
Okay.
gotta go here. But honestly, folks, it's almost like a little bit of a
Snuck it in.
sneak it in right there, where you're gonna get this bill that's lower now, so you feel really good about it, but then guess what? Boom, they hit you with a raise increase.
February, folks, SRP is sliding that rate increase in February.
Do not let that happen to you. Let Solar Sandy give you a 0 bill by calling, and just go to our website. It's asksolarsandy.com and fill out that kilowatt worksheet. You're gonna be happy that you did.